Hello, my name is Mrs. Lucas and my family originates from Cyprus. Had to leave my country in 1974 because of the war. Turkey invaded Cyprus. Feelings I had were kind of mixed because I was only young and I didn't really feel anything because I had my mum and dad and they had all my needs that I needed. So I was never without food, drink, hugs, cuddles. So basically, I don't know, I felt happy because I was with my family. We got to Britain. First, we moved from the village by car. My dad drove the family. He made 2 or 3 trips from the village of Exemedochi to another village, like allotments or trees. And then from there to the city where my dad had a calf and we stayed there. It felt like forever, but probably wasn't. And then from the calf, we got a boat, went to Greece. It was a long boat trip, and then a plane eventually to Heathrow. To Britain, my mum, dad and me. The rest of the family stayed in Cyprus, but not in the village. Possessions, didn't manage to bring anything out apart from, like I said, my mum and dad. That's all I needed. And me. The possessions that were left in the village, in the house, just stayed there. Some photos were found and they returned them to my mum when we went back to visit, when they opened the gates. But nothing was saved. Yes, had family that stayed behind. Also had an uncle that got captured in the war and still don't know where he is, alive or dead. The only person that spoke English was my dad. Mum didn't know English and I did not know English apart, Greek. And it was, the truth, horrible coming felt like an alien because we didn't know anything. No English, didn't know how to communicate with my family, with friends. Just horrible. First day in English school was scary, worried, didn't know how to speak, didn't know how to communicate, didn't have friends. I couldn't communicate with my cousins, got so frustrated and wanted attention that started biting people. Not that I didn't want to bite them, but the person that showed compassion to me and my family was the first teacher called Miss Bullen. Just the kindness, just went out of the way to make us feel like we belonged. First time I went back to the village was when I was an adult with my own children. But to go back to Cyprus, we went quite a few times on holiday with the family. But seeing my house as a grown-up didn't look like my house because they built a house on top of it. Just literally not look like, waiting to see my bike in the front yard and basically wanted to go and see my room, but it wasn't my house. What I miss about living, not in Cyprus, but in the actual village where it happened, was the closeness, the community, feeling safe and everyone knowing you. I like living here because I feel like I just go out and people just talk. I mean, I probably would have been down in the village, but just, there's a lot of nice people when you're nice to them. I think people should welcome refugees and be kind and sympathetic and just not to judge them.